We are back in Spain, and we're here for a few days staying outside of Madrid, which gave us the opportunity to explore a new city. So,
let's go check out Segovia.
We're staying about 40 minutes north of Madrid, which gave us the perfect opportunity to explore something outside of the city. During our research, we found Segovia, and it was an obvious choice. It has one of the most beautiful castles in Europe and seemed like the perfect place for a day trip.
While I was doing a bit of research before we arrived, I wanted to find an entryway into Segovia that's as majestic as the city itself. Puerta de San Andreas, or San Andreas Gate, is an entryway in the medieval city walls on the south side of the city. The gate's dedicated to St. Andrew and dates back as far as 1120, however today's gate was renovated between the 15th and 16th centuries. Today it serves as an office for tourism and is the entry point in case you're wanting to walk the city walls.
One thing that we kind of learned about Spain when we were here in January is that the cafes are more centered around a laid-back cafe experience, but rather than stop in a cafe, we're going to poke our heads into a place called Lemon and Mint. It's been here in the center of Segovia for over 30 years, and they're well known for their homemade pastries. And Segovia's got some pretty fantastic sweets, and you're never going to hear me complain about getting dessert first.
While normally we try to start off with like a local cup of coffee, we figured can't go wrong with pastries. All right.
I'm so excited. This looks, I don't know what this is, but it's like a specialty in Segovia, so we obviously had to get it. Just like powdered sugary goodness. It kind of reminds me of the pastel de nata without the crunchy outside and more sugar on the inside, not as much like egg tart. There's not gonna be a pretty way to do this.
Oh my God.
It's a churro.
Here in Segovia, there are three major landmarks that sort of command the attention of anyone visiting. We'll start the three off by visiting the Aqueduct of Segovia. Constructed by the Romans in the 1st century, it served as a transport for water to Segovia from the Frio River, and this aqueduct was in service all the way up until the 1800s. I think the craziest thing about this aqueduct is that there isn't any cement or anything like that holding the over 20,000 stones together. Instead, it's perfectly balanced and uses gravity. The highest point of the aqueduct is here on Plaza del Azogueo, where it sits 92 feet high and has 167 arches total. I want to fly the drone, but there's so many birds that it looks like they're like nesting in the aqueduct. So I don't want to fly it and A, disturb that, but B, there are these massive bird nests and huge birds.
Those things are storks up there.
I'm guessing they get territorial too.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. Look at those nests.
Birds' nests are super cool and stuff, but when the nest is big enough to the point to where I feel like I might be able to fit in it, that's when I get a little bit nervous.
When you're walking from the aqueduct back to the center of Old Town, you'll be walking through an area called Calle Real. Calle Real isn't necessarily a specific street, but rather a collection of streets that run through the heart of Segovia. You can do some shopping, eating, or just stroll around enjoying the beautiful buildings that provide a pretty great glimpse into the past.
And since we're in the area, we wanted to point out a really cool building called Casa de los PICOS. It's a 15th century building that has 617 points and was once the home of Segovia's governor, but it's now an art school. Not sure if you can tell, but we're trying to stick to these little pockets of shade along the walls because it's easily like a 15 to 20 degree difference in temperature from the shade to the sun. It is blisteringly hot today. We're just gonna skip lunch because it's A, not super cheap here on Plaza Mayor, and we're gonna spend a decent amount of money on dinner, and B, because we're not super hungry at all. Plaza Mayor is a town square located at the end of Calle Real. Within Plaza Mayor, you'll find Juan Bravo Theater, San Miguel Church, and Segovia Cathedral. I think my favorite thing about today's itinerary and today's vlog is that everything flows really easily. And everything to see in Segovia are basically within a mile of each other along the same route. We're basically moving east to west on our tour, and the next stop west of Plaza Mayor is arguably the grandest structure of them all, the CATHEDRAL de Segovia. The Segovia Cathedral is built on the highest point of town and dates back to 1525 when construction first began. It's built in the Gothic style, which I'm such a fan of, and took 50 years to build. We've seen a ton of cathedrals so far this year across many countries, but this one in my opinion is probably the most impressive when it comes to the exterior. Tickets are only €3 per person, which in my opinion is totally worth it. I don't care. care how many times we go in these Gothic churches, they never get old.
Y'all know how much Trey loves his cloisters.
One of my favorite things about Europe is they've got these little water stands, or like little water spout type things. So if you've got a bottle of water and you run out, you can just walk over to one and get water. Since Segovia's old town is built on this hill, it offers some pretty unbelievable viewpoints. They're miradors, I believe I pronounced that correctly, or viewpoints, just about everywhere so that you can stop and enjoy these views as much as you can.
You won't catch me trying to roll my R's because I can't. I just spit everywhere. But
Miradors.
That was nice. That was
Miradors.
Nice. Ah.
I think that's right. Mom told me that I need to roll my R's more. So Mom, that's my best effort right there. As I said earlier, there are 3 major landmarks here that will command your attention if you're visiting. We've seen the Aqueduct and we've seen the Segovia Cathedral. So now we're at the ALCÁZAR. Tickets for the tower and the museum and the ALCÁZAR is €9 each, so 18 euro total for both of us. So I feel like we spent a lot more on cathedrals, let alone a big tower and a beautiful castle. This is a huge medieval castle positioned at the northwest corner of the hill in a similar fashion to the Edinburgh Castle in Scotland. The castle is shaped like the bow of a ship, and the way it jets out of the rock face only adds to its glamour and appeal. It dates back to the 11th and 12th centuries, and originally it was a fortress before being transformed into a royal palace where 22 different kings lived and served.
This is definitely the entryway I would want for my bedroom.
The ALCÁZAR is also served as a state prison, a royal artillery range, and a military academy.
Paid to climb stairs.
Yes, we did.
In what world?
152 stairs.
It's really tight. And I'm left-handed. I normally have the camera in my left hand, but hold on, how do I get myself in these situations every time?
Congratulations!
Alright, you ready to go back down? Alright, let's do it.
These are very uneven, very steep.
Yeet.
Oh.
That is definitely worth the €9. That was beautiful views of the entire city that you're not really going to get anywhere else. It's not very Spanish of us to eat an early dinner, but tonight is our last night in Spain, and we are sad and we want to enjoy it, but also we have an hour drive back. We still have to pack, so there's a lot still on the docket for today.
The restaurant we're going to try to go to is in the Calle Real area. So we're headed back to the center of town. I hope they let us in and we don't need like a reservation or anything like that. Fortunately, this place is not open for another 4 more hours. We are very much Americans in this situation, and we're trying to eat dinner at like 4 o'clock. So
We're gonna look for something else.
we're gonna look for something else. So it looks like this might be our only option, which is perfect. This is our last night in Spain, and on our first night in Spain, we got calamari bocadillos in the center of Madrid near Plaza Mayor, and this is the perfect situation. I feel like we have to close out Spain with squid sandwiches.
We've spent a month here in Spain this year, and we've loved every second of it. We started with these squid sandwiches, and we're going to end with these squid sandwiches. And we'll see you in a few days when we head to Brussels, Belgium. Do I look like a tourist? I got my sunscreen, I got my water bottle, and my tripod.
Thankfully, pterodactyls aren't a thing anymore. Oh. Wow.
It is toasty, but this is pretty.
Yep. Not the Seville Cathedral.
I was gonna say, what are you talking about?
It's so Hogwartsy. Miradors, I believe I pronounced that correctly, or viewpoints. The mountains back there, the Guadarrama. I pushed it. I pushed my Guadarrama. Guadarrama.
You're so funny.
I asked her if she had the tickets. She's like, nope, I lost them.
Thanks for running off. She's just standing here. Oh, so funny.
I saw you. From here. My bag feels light. It's time to get my shopping on.
Negative.
As excited as we were, I love this.
I love this song.
I'm distracted now.